And welcome everybody to another episode of the Playeressence VidCast, episode number 14. I am your host, Gear Francis. How you guys doing? Over here to the left, we have the Impaler. Hero, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. We've got an awesome show for you guys today. A lot of good stuff to talk about in the news of gaming, of course.
Before we talk about that, in terms of news, we must take a moment of silence for...
Yes.
We feel sorry for everyone who has been affected by the shooting in Columbus or Ohio.
Connecticut. I'll just say this right now. It's horrible. It's horrible that these kids, these were future gamers. This could have been the person.
This could have been the next Cliffy B.
Exactly. This could have been the next great designer, the next great, in game. I mean, and it sucks. A lot of those kids probably had, video games, hopes and dreams.
They were looking forward to their Wii U for Christmas.
Exactly, or for their PS3 or 360 getting into gaming, and they'll never get that opportunity. So everybody just needs to be happy and thank whatever you believe in, thank that person or think whatever, that you're alive and you're able to play these games, but just take a little moment of silence for those kids and their families. Okay, so on more of a lighter note here, we've got a great episode for you guys. Dom actually has volunteered. I know I haven't been getting shows up as fast as possible as far as our other shows like our Just Playing and our Throwdowns, but Dom has been so graciously to be able to help me and do those things. And right now it's a small operation. We don't really profit much, and Dom has been very grateful. So definitely, we're going to be getting more original content up thanks to Dom. So when you guys start seeing that stuff, that's Dom over here doing all that, and hopefully we can grow this thing up to bigger and better.
We'll be getting there.
We'll get there. I think we'll get there. So the first thing we want to talk about, a lot of interesting news. Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls.
There's been
prepared to die.
Prepared to die and die and die and die and die. Dom is a huge Dark Souls 2 fan, and we got a lot to talk about Dark Souls 2. There's a petition to get the game on the Wii U, and more information has trickled out about Dark Souls 2 as far as what the developers have been saying. Now, one of the first things I want to talk about is the developer said the game is going to be more understandable without being easier. Now,
that's not possible in Dark Souls.
So understandable. So let's say less cheap deaths. Is that what you're talking? Like where you step into a room and you step on a thing.
I think by understandable, it might be they might give you a map. Maybe.
What do you mean a map?
A map.
Oh, a map because there's no map, huh? In the game. Yeah. Well, I think maybe understandable. Just like
let me put it to you this way. When I first picked up the game, and for all you Dark Souls fans out there, you'll probably understand more than Furious Francis. Oh. When you first pick up the game, you first start, you're supposed to go from the Firelink Shrine to the Undead Parish. I went to the Tomb of the Giants.
Yeah, I just went somewhere crazy too.
Well, no, the Tomb of the Giants, you're supposed to go there towards the end of the game. And I went there and got my ass handed to me. Yeah. And no map. There is no map. It's true free world. You go, you figure it out, you die. And
well, one thing I don't like when we talk about Dark Souls is maybe understandable was okay, when you start the game, just being able to do magic, just being able to not having to find
your talisman,
a Harry Potter. I'm not trying to go around like Harry Potter. I don't think I need that type of stuff. In my opinion, it's just stupid. It's not necessarily something that makes things.
I agree.
It's stupid.
I was not a fan of having to pull out your talisman and your catalyst and your.
You should just shoot magic out of your hands, man. I'm not a huge fan of wands and crap like that. So hopefully
maybe they'll fix that.
Yeah, maybe it's understandable. It's okay, not having to spend time finding a wand and figuring out how it works. Just being able to, you still have all the difficulty, but not the whole wand crap, So
difficulty for the right reasons is more.
Difficulty for the right reasons, exactly. I don't want to spend 3 hours figuring out how to find a wand, or 4 hours or 5 hours figuring out where to get it. That's unwanted. When I'm fighting a boss and he's hard, no problem. But figuring things out, just in general, I shouldn't have to struggle with finding a wand. Yeah. And I guess that's about as far as I got to the game, as you can tell. It's even though it's really easy, I think once you get the wand, it's no problem. It's just
Well, me, one of my 3 characters that I have in Dark Souls is a magic user, and I'm not a fan. Really.
Not a fan.
I don't because. The thing is, it's not only do you have to pull out your wand, but you have to create distance between you and your opponent to cast the spell itself. It's not like you just, boom, there it goes. No, you have to charge and it comes out and then no. all that takes time, and the whole time a million things are trying to kill you, and they're not slowing down just because you have your wand out.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those games that's like, okay, so as far as like the narrative and the what to expect, what do you... Well, first of all, spoiler alert. What happened at the end of Dark Souls 2?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Okay. You defeat the final boss.
Yeah.
You either walk out of his chamber or you...
Sorry, what happened at the end of Dark Souls? Just regular Dark Souls, not Dark Souls 2. What happened at the end of Dark Souls? You defeat the boss.
You have two options. You either, one, link the fire, which basically means you're restoring peace, hope, whatever you want to call it. Or you walk out and keep all the power for yourself. That's it. It's very, very blunt.
Did you do both endings?
Yeah.
So there's no video after that?
No, there's a little cinematic for each one, but that's about it. Like for the Dark Lord one is what it's called. Is you walk out, you're the powerful. You have all the power of the mighty Gwyn, Lord of Cinder, and the primordial serpents. They all come up and they bow to you, and that's the game.
You're like basically the god of war.
Essentially, or you can link the fire, and you know all the undead die because you're restoring peace, and it's a pretty bad letdown. You've died a million times for this. Is kind of the, but you know me, I can beat the game no problem now, so it's
okay. Not an issue. So what are your expectations for Dark Souls 2? Do you think you're not going to be using the same character? There's not going to be any like transfer. You think it'll be like some time period?
It's Dark Souls. It's Dark Souls. I mean, you're going to start off with a new character. And that's the thing I kind of like about Dark Souls is Dark Souls does not focus a lot on the main character.
Yeah.
There is no
story, really.
Yeah, there is no... Well, there's a story, but there's no, like, Metal Gear.
There's no... It's not like Metal Gear. It's nowhere near Metal Gear.
It's not like there's the main guy is Snake. No, it's just you're the main guy. You have no name. You're a class. Yeah. You don't talk. You don't do nothing. You run around. You destroy people, and, you know... I kind of like that because it makes you focus on everything else about the game because you're trying to link together all the NPCs and all these different boss fights and cinematics. Like, how does this relate to my guy? It's in a sense it kind of would be like the Master Chief in Halo. He's the Master Chief, and that's all you know about him. You know what I mean?
Unless you read the comics, there's a lot of the books. They talk about him a lot.
Yeah, but you get the idea. I get the gist. You get the idea, but no, Dark Souls 2, I can almost guarantee you it'll be no exception to the difficulty. It's still gonna probably be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
You're probably gonna die a million times.
So let me ask you a question. So there's a new thing saying that it may skip 2013, so it might be 2014. So are we looking at maybe next gen consoles? Are we looking at maybe PS4 and
maybe if it comes out? I honestly think if they do bring it out before the next-gen consoles, they'll be foolish to do so. Because...
I don't know. There's a large install base, and if they bring it out on next-gen consoles, nobody will have the system.
I don't think so.
Well, I'm just saying, like, the install base on the PS3 and 360 is over, like, 140 million. The install base on the Xbox 720 and the PS4... No matter when they bring it up, it's not going to be 170 million. Like, I mean, think about it. They released Dark Souls 1 in, what was that? Was that last year? 2011? Dark Souls 1 came out?
I think it was 2010. It was the end of 2010, early.
Was it the end of 2010?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. They released Dark Souls 1, and the game sells about a little over 1 million copies. With an install base of 160 million, or 140 million, or whatever it was at the time, or 120 million. You got to look at potential customers. Like, the Xbox 720 and the PS4 are not going to have as much potential.
My personal preference would be for the next-gen consoles in terms of graphics and gameplay, because, don't get me wrong, I love Dark Souls, but Dark Souls graphics are, they're good, but they could be better. Yeah. For a game style like that, when you play Dark Souls, my first vibe is I got like a Skyrim type game. You know, an RPG, you select your weapons, you select your magic, you select your gear, your stats and all that. It plays a lot like Skyrim or, you know, what's that other one? I can't think of it right now, but it has that kind of feel to it. And I think if you can bump the graphics for, like, because, like, there's little animations for, like, the blood when you swing your sword and all that. If they can make that more crisp and more pristine and just more clear. Like when you slash somebody in the face, they're freaking. Which are like if you slash them like this, the blood goes flying that way. That it'd be great.
It'd be even more immersive experience.
Yeah, or like the magic, like when a fireball comes at you, the fireballs aren't. They don't look like fire. You know.
So you want, since it's such a it's a visually intense game. They're pushing the PS3 and they're pushing the PS3 and 360 really hard. But yeah, I agree. I definitely think. I think if anything, make it for both. I don't think From Software has the money to make it on the next gen systems, so I think it's PS3 and 360. And when it releases, it just releases.
What about Wii
U? That's the thing. Like I said, you need the next gen consoles to push anything. If it was on Wii U, then it's going to look exactly the same as the PS3 and 360. It's going to look just like those systems. It's not going to be visually better or anything like that. Cause
but do you think the Wii U would be better for the gameplay?
Yeah, for the gameplay. For me, if it was on Wii U, I'd buy it. Just because of being able to swap inventory, do all that on the fly, and not have to cover up the screen with it. I have no problem with it being on Wii U. And there is a petition out there. If you haven't seen it, check out my site. Look up Dark Souls 2. Sign that petition. If you want the game on Wii U, sign that petition.
We will get it on Wii U.
We will get it on Wii U. Remember, they did that for Dark Souls on the PC. A lot of people petitioned and petitioned and petitioned, and they got Dark Souls on the PC. So even though it's the worst version, but hey, they got it on there. It was rushed, obviously, and they don't have the money to develop on PC. So that's another reason why I don't think you'll see it on the next-gen systems, just because they don't even have the money to develop on PC. So I don't see it. Moving on, there's also a Tomb Raider petition. So if you go on my site, it's on the main page. You'll see the Tomb Raider petition. Go there and sign it. We want Tomb Raider on the Wii U too, just as well. You can have the map, inventories, quick swaps, all that good stuff. Get Tomb Raider on there too. Also, another thing that we also want to move into is Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, which is Revengeance. I hate spelling that word, man. Like Revengeance, that is like the bane of me posting on Metal Gear Solid Rising is that Revengeance. But anyway. You've seen some of the gameplay clips from that?
I mean, yeah.
It looks amazing, and there's already a demo if you buy the Zone of Enders HD collection. They have a demo in there. But what are your expectations for Metal Gear Rising? And they've released some new videos. Do you think that's a game that you're going to pick up? Or?
Probably.
Yeah.
I've said this before. I've played Metal Gear since I was a kid. Which was only 10 years ago, but
since 2 years ago.
But I've played all the Metal Gears, NES, you know, PS1, GameCube, all of them. I love them all.
Yeah.
I think this will be another great addition to the collection. It'll probably, and the thing about Metal Gear is it'll probably answer a few questions, but it'll probably leave you asking a few more.
It's Metal Gear Rising, so it's like you're using rating. I think it's going to be less story. I think there's a lot of action. It's a stealth action game, and there's stealth parts, there's action parts. But I don't know. I think it's gonna leave you with some questions, and I don't think it's gonna answer everything because you're not.
No, it's not gonna. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna answer a few, but it's gonna make you ask a few more.
Now, what's interesting? What's gonna be because this is coming out next year. Now, Bayonetta 2 is also coming out next year, so this could be like the battle between these two games. I mean, they're made by the same studio. They're both platinum games.
So you're still gonna be making them money.
Yeah, so
either way.
They're gonna be making them money. But I want to get your opinion. Have you played Bayonetta 1? No, okay, but I've played Bayonetta 1, so I'm going to talk about it. Bayonetta 1 is my favorite action game of all time. One of my favorite action games of all time. It just does everything right, other than the story. The story's stupid, but the gameplay is superb. And I want to see these two games go head-to-head. I want to know which game is better. So definitely, if you guys are watching this, post a comment. What do you guys think of Metal Gear Rising?
I'll tell you, the first comment would be Metal Gear is going to, I think, because Metal Gear's been around a lot longer than Bayonetta.
True.
Metal Gear has a lot bigger fan base than Bayonetta.
But you got to also remember that Metal Gear Rising, it is not the Metal Gear that we all know. Metal Gear Rising, it's an action title. It's a different game.
It's Metal Gear.
It is Metal Gear.
You can turn Legend of Zelda into a first-person shooter. I guarantee you, people are still gonna buy it.
Yeah, and I understand, but I'm just saying, like, it's not. I mean, I think Metal Gear fans are much more interested in Ground Zeroes. Than they are in Metal Gear Rising. I think Bayonetta fans are much more interested in Metal Gear Rising than Ground Zeroes. So, I mean, there is a balance there. But, I mean, Metal Gear Rising versus Bayonetta 2, that's going to be an interesting battle to see who buys what. And, you know, and I'm surprised that they're not putting that game also on Wii U too because of the Bayonetta 2 fans. I mean, I'm not, you know, Bayonetta 2 is published by Nintendo, so that's the only reason why that game is coming out is because of Nintendo. Nintendo decided to pick it up. Microsoft and Sony maybe could have had it. they let it go. So Nintendo gets that game, but it'll just be interesting to see Bayonetta 2, Metal Gear Rising, and see which game is better, you know, because they're both coming out next year. Hopefully Bayonetta 2 is coming out next year. We'll see. Now, moving on, we have our main topic this week. Obviously, as you know, me and Dom, we are fans of gaming in general. We like all the systems. We don't have any biases. Obviously, we have our systems that we like to play, but there's we have our preferences of what we like to play for multiple reasons. Whether if it's like Dom, he's a multiplayer guy. He likes Call of Duty, so he's gonna play Xbox 360 because that's where the most people play Call of Duty at. You know, so Dom likes to go with Xbox, but that doesn't mean he's against PS3. I mean, we play
I play PS3.
Yeah, we play Mass Effect. Yeah, we have fun. You like Mass Effect 3 on there, so he's not against it. He likes the Wii U. We played Zombie U. We've played Nintendo Land. Zombie U. And me, I own everything, so I'm not. But
yeah, he's the master gamer.
There's two guys that we want to get into, and I wrote an article on this earlier. It's about the article title was "Major Gaming Media's Distaste for Nintendo and the Wii U," and there's two guys out there that just seem to constantly spew crap, and there's like no backing to their words. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of these two guys, but the annoyed gamer Marcus Beer from GameTrailers.com and Michael Pachter, the super analyst, you know, for Wedbush Morgan and Securities. Like, these two guys, I mean, like, we watched the video beforehand. Marcus Beer, first of all, let's talk about this guy, the annoyed gamer. What the hell is he talking about? Like, we're watching, I mean, go on there and watch the latest video of Annoyed Gamer. Now, the next point that he makes is about the Canadian Wii Mini, and then he goes on to say that since Nintendo's releasing the Canadian Wii Mini, that they don't give a flying fart about people. Those were quotes. A flying fart about people who have put them in there that have been playing games for 20 years. Okay. This guy, first of all, this guy hasn't been playing Nintendo games. He's admitted that he's never played Pokemon. He didn't play Resident Evil 4 when it first came out on the GameCube. This guy doesn't even play Nintendo games. He doesn't play any of Nintendo's games. So you say, no, you don't care about the people. The Wii released more core games on it. 2 Marios, Mario Kart. They released more core games on that than the GameCube. Yeah. They released more core games on it. The Last Story, Xenoblade, hardcore RPGs. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about, okay? That's the first thing I want to say about him. The next thing I want to say, how does Nintendo releasing a Canadian exclusive Wii Mini divulge from what the Wii... Well, right now, we're issuing an open challenge to the Annoyed Gamer and to Michael Pachter. I know we're not as high priority as them, but I did do an interview with one of Marcus Beer's bosses or his co-worker, Shane Satterfield. A lot of you guys might have seen that already.
Shane
Satterfield. And so I'm familiar with those, you know, and I don't think people would agree with this guy, but I want to I would love to go to LA. We live close. Yeah. If they're watching right now, I would love to go to LA and we can have an open debate on these topics because these people are so-called professionals and industry analysts, and I don't think they know what they're talking about. The Wii Mini doesn't detract from what Nintendo's doing with the Wii U. Nintendo, and he says they need to release more games on the 3DS and all that. They have plenty of games on the 3D. They released Professor Layton. They released Mario Sticker Star. They've got Pokemon. They've got Crimson Shroud eShop titles. Liberation Maiden, made by Suda51, the creator of No More Heroes, and made by Level 5. You know, they've got great eShop titles. They've got Fire Emblem coming out next year. They've got Animal Crossing. They've got Castlevania, Lords of Shadow, Mirror Fate. Like, what is this guy talking about? They released free DLC for New Super Mario Bros. 2. He's not
just ranting. He's just
ranting.
He's not even...
And it's not on anything that's factual. You can't tell me that the Canadian Wii Mini means that Nintendo doesn't care about the core gamers. Bayonetta 2, Wonderful 101. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what that is. But either way, it's for core gamers. These games aren't going to sell a lot. They'd only pick these up if these are for the core gamers. You know, talk about Smash Bros. You know,
that was so good.
Heck yeah! I mean, Nintendo's making those games. Xenoblade, The Last Story. You know, these games were all made for core gamers. What is he talking about? And you know, so what if Nintendo campaigns a little bit for casual gamers? So Microsoft and Sony do the same as well.
Kinect.
Yeah, with Kinect and Move, they do the same as well. So I don't know. And Kinect is the worst offender. Kinect doesn't even have buttons, man. Like, so. Why is he railing because of the Canadian? We can't even purchase a Wii Mini here. the Wii Mini it's not worth the attention that it's even gotten to this point.
Yeah, because it's a casual. That's like the Wii Mini is for casual gamers, for starters. No internet, no online, no. I mean,
we've wasted enough time even talking about it right now. Like, I just want to skip next thing. Pachter and Marcus Pachter. This guy Pachter, this financial analyst. He might know a little bit more than Marcus Beer, but this guy is also, I think he's pushing Microsoft and Sony because of the advice that he's given to stockholders, because he's seen that Nintendo stocks have went down, and he will say negative things about Nintendo because of the information that he's already given to stockholders to get away from them. So he's being ridiculously, I think, critical of Nintendo and their dealings, and even went as far as to say that they're going to be irrelevant in the future.
If that gamepad is irrelevant in the future, then gaming is doomed.
It's not even about the gamepad being irrelevant in the future or not. It's about what Nintendo's done up to this point and what they're doing. 3DS. The sales of the 3DS in Japan have surpassed the PS3's lifetime sales. And I'll say that again. The 3DS sales in Japan.
The 3DS.
That just came out in 2010. Or 2011. One of those.
PS Vita and the PSP? What are those songs?
Yeah. The 3DS has surpassed the lifetime sales in Japan.
A handheld console.
How are they becoming irrelevant? How is Sony irrelevant in Japan then?
Yeah, Sony.
Maybe he's talking about America. Okay, fine. Let's look at America. The 3DS is on pace to beat the regular DS. And the regular DS just recently surpassed the PS2 as the best-selling gaming platform of all time, with over 150 million units sold worldwide. And the 3DS is already on pace to beat that, as far as units sold. So are they gonna stop selling next year when the PS4 and the Xbox 720 come out? It's all of a sudden the 3DS, even though it's gonna have Fire Emblem and Smash Bros. And all these games and Animal Crossing and all these games that are coming out, is it gonna become irrelevant? Come on. Does he really think that these games are just going to go away? Does he really think that the fans who bought these games are just going to go away? This is ridiculous for him to say it's irrelevant. Irrelevant in stocks or irrelevant in sales?
Just because the new generation Call of Duty, and I'm not dissing Call of Duty, but just because Call of Duty and Halo are out does not mean Zelda, Mario are going anywhere.
Yeah.
And the Master Chief cannot beat Mario. It's just...
And let's just say this. When Nintendo does release a Pokemon game on the 3DS, we all know what's going to happen. The sales will skyrocket to an unpredictable amount. And if they release a tie-in with the Wii U, which I think that they're going to do just because it's taking them so long to release a Pokemon game, I really think that they're trying to tie it in with the Wii U. Does he really think that it's going to be irrelevant, or is it just going to... He says it's their niche. Since when was niche associated with 35 million people on Mario Kart? Or like,
no idea.
Since when was niche associated with that? I mean, I just don't understand when this guy talks these things. So what they really could do to make it awesome, if they released Pokemon Red and Blue redone graphically, and then added in all the other Pokemon, but the original Pokemon Red and Blue redone where the 100, the original 150 are emphasized, and then you add in the other Pokemon too, but you have that story, but then added content, and then also on the Wii U, that will...
There's 50 million
oh
units
my
right
God.
there.
Yeah, I think that's
just 50. For Pokemon Blue.
Yeah.
Pokemon Red, there's another 50 million.
I think that's like 50 million units, no joke. I think they'll really sell 25 million per each. They'll sell so much. 3DS sales will skyrocket, and and I know it's hypothetical, but you know that they're going to release.
But see, that's the thing is. The thing is, these are all facts based on history. I mean, Pokemon has been around since what?
Before Michael Pachter got into the industry, I'll say that. If Mario saved the industry, they've been around for over 25 years. To say that they're going to become irrelevant is based on nothing. Michael Pachter has no facts to back up those claims. None. And we are now issuing that open challenge to Michael Pachter and to Marcus Beer to debate on Nintendo.
We just want to know why. I mean, if you guys have legitimate facts or opinions, if you would, then okay, but you're just ranting, you're just blabbing on, you're just saying stuff to say stuff. You're not even, there's nothing behind it, there's nothing. Nintendo's gonna be irrelevant, really? Nintendo with Mario is irrelevant?
And like I said, and look, and this might sound like we're just becoming like, fanboys or anything, but Dude, Dom is by no means a Nintendo fan. He likes Xbox and Black Ops. Me, I mean, I like the Wii. I like the first party stuff, but I wasn't huge on Wii. I like the Wii U. I think the Wii U is cool, but by no means are we just biased fanboys. We like facts. And the problem is that Marcus Beer says that the Canadian Wii Mini is doomed to all hardcore gamers and they're not supporting that. It's just propaganda in my opinion. It's just crap. I don't see how anybody can say Nintendo's not supporting their platforms. Obviously, the 3DS lineup was a little thin this holiday season, but that's because they released the Wii U. Everybody doesn't work in the industry. We don't have the money. We don't have the money to buy 3DS, Fire Emblem, all the games,
Super Mario Bros., Zombie U.
We don't have the money. Like, Nintendo was smart. They don't want to. Could they have probably released Fire Emblem sooner? Yes, but people need to buy a Wii U. People don't have the money to buy all these games. This is an open challenge, and we made this episode shorter just so we can get all of this in. This is an open challenge from us, just the gamers, normal guys. A little bit of people know me from what I've done on my site here and Hero the Impaler here. We challenge you for an open debate on your claims about Nintendo and just in general. We challenge you guys because we think a lot of the stuff you guys are saying is BS. So we're challenging you to an open debate. We live here in Bakersfield. We live an hour and a half away from where you guys are at in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. We have no problem coming there. I have no problem driving down there and getting the cameras ready and having a nice little debate on these topics because we think what you guys are saying is BS. If you guys agree, definitely comment below. Comment on game trailers. Let us know. Get in touch so we can send this over. I will send this over to Shane Satterfield himself. The editor-in-chief over there at Game Trailers. We want to debate you guys. And this is not for publicity. This is not for whatever it is. This is just because we want to do it because we think you guys are saying a lot of BS. And quite frankly, you guys are supposed to be the professionals. You guys are supposed to be the guys that have been in the industry for X amount of years. But I don't think you guys know what you're talking about, I just think you guys are a little off on a couple things. So just a little bit. Hero, coming up on the site this week, we've got a ton of good stuff. So we are going to get up just playing. What are you going to be playing?
I'm gonna probably be the new Throwdown / just playing host, and I'll be editing and putting up the videos. And I must note to you viewers, I have this much experience doing that stuff. So wish me luck.
Wish you luck on
wish
that.
Hero luck.
So you gonna maybe do some just playing on some Black Ops? Maybe give some people some tips and some stuff like that?
Yeah, I'll give you guys some ideas. And like I said, if my videos come up crappy,
no, they'll be fine.
If they're not as good as the editor-in-chief himself,
you'll be fine.
Then,
you'll be fine. You'll be fine. So we look forward to new Just Plains. Of course, look forward to new opinion articles. I will have them up. If you haven't checked out my other ones, check out my ones on Media's Distaste for the Wii U. That's where we talked about the annoyed gamer and Michael Pachter and how what they're saying is crap. Check out my opinion article on the new Valve box. We talked about that a little bit. Definitely, we think that the Valve box will cut into everybody's profits, but Microsoft might get hit the most. So check out that article on there as far as the Steam, the Valve box. They're going to come out with something next year, so that's definitely going to be interesting. Also, I know I harp it out every week, but check out our social networks. Facebook, like us, definitely. Twitter.
We're getting a few more likes.
Yes, we're getting a few more.
And more comments.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for commenting.
Thank you for commenting.
Yes.
You guys are earning points. You're building our network. You're commenting.
You're commenting. So
thank you. We keep it up.
Keep it up, and thank you for that. Also, of course, we have a Google Plus. So check out our Google Plus page on there. We have all the social networks. Look on the right side, the right sidebar. You'll see that there. Join them. Like us on Facebook. Get all that content first. Especially like my opinion articles. Those always go up. You'll see them on Facebook. They'll come right to your newsfeed. So definitely do that. We appreciate all of the supporters and all of the fans out there for us. And trust it, like if you see this, man, push this to game shows. Let them know. We want to openly challenge them. We are representing all of the comments I've seen of people saying, what are these guys talking about? Like, this is not true.
Yeah, this isn't just us talking.
This isn't just us. This is a lot. I mean, in the hundreds I've seen of people saying irrelevant, Nintendo irrelevant. This is a financial analyst. So for you guys watching this, for you guys, push this out to them. We want them to see this. We want them to know that we are willing to come down there and debate them. And we will do that. So continue to support the site. support our crusade to get there to Game Shows and openly challenge Michael Pacter and Marcus Beer to a friendly debate. We're not going to go there, look at the punchy.
We're not going to go Dr. Doom.
Yeah, we're not going to go Dr. Doom on them or nothing. We're just looking to just get an open debate on there. So, push the stop.
So I can leave the Master Sword at home?
You can leave your Master, and I will leave my Buster Sword here too as well. So definitely, thank you for watching this latest episode. And of course, happy holidays to all.
Happy holidays.
All right, and we will see you guys next week. Peace out.